Welcome to Lilli Pet Gifts. Let's make a flocked HTV tote bag. Okay, so we won't need a whole lot to do this project. We will need a tote bag of your choice, a ruler, a rotary cutter, and the flocked color material of your choice as well. So let's head on over to our Silhouette software and let's get started. Let's make a tote bag using an SVG file. Today we're going to do the Oklahoma. So I'm going to open this design. This design is on our Etsy site, and I will post that link in the comments or in the section below. And that way you can locate that file if you'd like to do this design on a t-shirt, sweatshirt, tote bag, whatever. So today we're going to do a tote bag, and I already have the design ready, and I measured my tote bag space, and it is 8.5, so this is going to work out perfect. I am going to set up my design. Over here, I have a Cameo 4, and I am going to use my 12 by 24 mat. I use that mat for everything. It just seems to work best for me. I just like the way it holds everything. So come on, let's go, computer. Work with me today. Thank you. All right, and then I'm going to change my media size to 12 by 24 so everything looks like my mat space. So I'm going to zoom in up at the top, zoom in, and because I will be using a heat transfer flock material, I need to flip horizontally because I need to reverse my design anytime I'm using HTV. And as you can see up at the top, my rulers, I can see where I need to cut my vinyl because as long as I have my vinyl piece bigger than what I'm cutting out, then I'll be good to go. So I will need to cut my vinyl piece 9 1/4, and over here on the right, around 5. So 9 1/4, maybe a little over 5, just to give me extra space. So I'm going to go cut out my vinyl and get it ready on the Silhouette machine. And so 9 1/4, 5 1/4 is what I'll cut mine. And I'm going to send it. And waiting. This is the fun part, waiting for your computer to cooperate. Okay, and I guess my machine is not on. Okay, now my machine is on, and I'm plugging it in because you have to have it, the USB plugged in, or it will not register, of course. Okay, now that we are back in action here, so I am not going to use cardstock. I'm going to use, let's see here, let's scroll down, HTV Flocked, heat transfer flocked. We're going to do auto blade, auto cut around the edges because we want everything, even the insides, to cut. Blade depth, I will put it at 4 because it is flocked material, and so I do like it to cut a little bit deeper and make sure that it cuts through the whole thing. And so I've got it blade depth 4, 1 pass, force 33, I just leave it at that, and then I always like to do speed at 7. And so let me get my piece cut, and I will meet you over at the Silhouette machine. Okay, now we are at the machine, and I have my flocked piece of material cut. I'm going to set it on the mat, shiny side down, and let me squeegee it down, that way it sticks to this mat. Okay, and I'm going to turn it. Okay, and then I'm going to send it And I'm going to push as is because it's already reversed. And it's cutting it out. Let's just hope that this is going to be a good depth to where it weeds out easily. And I'll show you a little trick, something that you can check before you take it off of your mat, just in case you need to run another pass through without unloading your mat. So I will show you as soon as it's finished cutting. It's almost done, and so that way, looks like it has one more letter. We'll just make sure that it is going to weed out, and then if not, we'll run another pass over it. Okay, so it is finished, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my seam ripper, which these are the best. I use these for all of my weeding, and I just kind of take a corner and lift it, and it looks like it's going to peel. Let me zoom in for you, but it looks like it's going to peel off really nicely. So you can kind of see here. So I am good. I am going to go ahead and take it off of the mat because it looks like it's weeding really well. And then I will meet you over at the tote bag. Okay, so I said I was going to meet you at the tote bag, but I'm actually at the heat press because I wanted to show you one thing. Remember, I know I said this in another video, but if you go ahead and heat up your heat press, you can hear that, and then you set the shiny side down on the heat, it actually kind of loosens your vinyl just enough to, excuse me, to weed out your design easier. And so while it's still got a little warmth to the paper, you can just peel it off a little bit easier. It's not as hard. You can get in those little cracks. And just kind of keep going with it. And I do have a work light that does help me to see in the little cracks easier. I'll show you that here in a second, to where I can kind of see where all the weeding areas are. Okay, we got one more here, the A. Okay, so got it all weeded out. Okay, and again, I like to trim off the edges to give me an even, you can't hardly see it probably on the camera, but along these edges is just a little bit of orange fuzz. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but I see it. And so that's why I do like to trim around my designs, as well as it helps to line up your design whenever everything is evenly spaced out. And get it off my hands. So just kind of cut like this. Then I just cut straight across. Just making sure you don't cut on your design. So just kind of cut it all out like that. And then, oh, here's my light that I was going to show you. This is it's actually a puzzle light. And so that's my puzzle light. Okay, so now let's go over here to the tote bag. All right, so here is where, this is where I measured the tote bag. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby, this ruler. Anyway, so another little trick I like to do is you can get you can get some of these little pins, like little sewing type pins, and mark your center. So for instance, right here, it's about 13 across. So if I center that, we know half of 13 is 6.5. So I'm just going to put this here just to mark my center. Okay. And you can also mark your center with your design by cutting it, or I'm sorry, not cutting it, folding it in half and marking, just kind of pressing in little notches on your vinyl piece. So right there. Okay, so that's going to put me right around the center. And again, we're going to use these. I have a bucket of the heat transfer paper that you use for rhinestone transfers. Yes, I'm going to take off my little safety pin now that I've got my design set. And I've got all my little paper pieces that I am going to stick all over it. And another trick too is if you feel like this is not holding it down due to, it looks like it's coming off due to the canvas, sometimes things don't stick. So go ahead and add some safety pins through the paper that you have on there, the heat transfer paper, onto your item, and it will help hold it down. Just try not to get it on the vinyl part of it, but at least onto your item. That way it holds it down, at least until you can get to your heat press and get it ready to press. So that's an easy way to keep your design, and make sure you don't get both sides of the bag or it won't get on your heat press the right way. Okay, nothing is on the actual vinyl. It's all just kind of on there. So this heat transfer tape does not work too well on canvas material. So let's go back over here to the heat press. And I'm going to put you on this angle because it seems like it's a little bit easier to see. All right, and then with the flock material, you want to press it at 315. So I'm going to make sure my heat press is set around 315. Okay, and once it's set at 315, you want to press it for about 15 seconds. So I have a little timer here, and I will go ahead, and it's already set at 15 seconds. I used it for a different project, so it's already at 15 seconds. And you do not need a Teflon sheet. You can take out your little pins once you get it on your heat press. Okay. And you can go ahead and close your heat press carefully. Start your timer. So we've got the timer here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Turn your timer off. And then I take off all my little tape pieces that did not work anyway. So the pins worked out better than the tape for this particular item, but I will reuse this tape, so that's why I'm saving it and sticking it on the edge of my table. So now that we've got this on, let's grab a corner and slowly pull. Beautiful. Okay, and then we will stick this Teflon sheet back over it for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. Just kind of count in your head. And don't forget to rub it in. Rub it in good. And there we go. There is your super cute flocked tote bag. Okay, now that we have the tote bag made, let's make it look a little cuter. Okay, so fabric scissors. These are amazing for fabric, but for ribbon as well. So I've got 3 different ribbons here, 3 different sizes. I am going to just kind of group them all like this. Grab one of these handles and bring them around and just kind of tie a knot. It does not have to be anything fancy. It's just to add a little extra something to the bag. Okay, once you have your ribbon, you can twist it and turn it and try and get them all faced the way you like. I am going to cut here and then grab one of these smaller pieces and turn it here and tie. And I'll just do that twice. And it kind of helps hold the bag on. Maybe even just do that one once. And then this one once. Just to kind of add a little bit of extra flair to it. Okay, and then I feel like that's a little long, so I'm gonna cut it. Okay, cut that one. Cut all of them at an angle. That one's at an angle. And then these we're going to just fold in half and cut the corners. That way it gives it a cute little extra flair on that. Same with this one. We'll just cut it and do that. And then let's go ahead and get our lighter because we don't want it to fray. So let's get the lighter and just kind of run it along the ribbon edge so it won't fray or come apart. And it just kind of seals it in. I'm going to do that on each one, and that way I got the little white one down here too. Got them all nice and sealed. This one's sealed. You can see it as it does it as well, so it's all nice and good. So there is your final bag with the flocked material and the ribbon, and it just looks so cute. I love how it turned out, and it's going in a donation basket that we are doing for a local school here. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Super easy project that you can do.